there. You think you're ahead of the curve sending me stuff on Ideogram AI.
Uh-huh. Maybe.
Well, you're right. This thing is exploding, especially with my design and marketing friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying it's the future of visual content. You really think it's that big of a deal?
It's definitely shaking things up. We're talking about AI tackling creative tasks now,
Right.
which is exciting and a little unnerving if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Your sources seem to focus on Ideogram's potential to be a game changer,
Okay.
particularly for those who aren't exactly, well, artistically gifted.
Okay, so you're saying even I could whip up something. That doesn't look like a 5-year-old's finger painting.
Uh-huh.
Because I'm seeing these articles mentioning text-to-image generation, so I just type in what I want, like a robot riding a roller coaster eating cotton candy.
And boom, Ideogram makes it happen.
You got it. But what's really interesting is that it's not just about churning out any old image.
Okay.
The Futurepedia article, for example,
Yeah.
talks about how Ideogram uses something called generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short.
Okay.
Basically, it's like having two AIs duke it out, one trying to create realistic images based on your text,
Uh-huh.
the other acting as a super judge,
Okay.
critiquing the results and forcing the first one to up its game until it nails it.
Whoa. So it's like AI boot camp for image creation.
Uh-huh.
No wonder the results are supposed to be so good.
Right.
But doesn't that Futurepedia article also say that Ideogram helps you come up with designs too?
Yeah.
It's not just you telling it exactly what to draw.
Right. There's a deeper level of creative collaboration here.
Imagine you're stuck in a creative rut.
Yeah.
You know you need a new logo, but nothing's clicking.
Right.
Ideogram can actually analyze thousands of existing designs,
Okay.
identify emerging trends, and then suggest options based on your initial input.
Hold on. So if I tell it I want a logo for, say, my dog walking business,
Yeah.
it's not just going to show me a bunch of dogs on leashes. It'll actually come up with unique designs that are actually in style.
Precisely. It can even break those designs down for you,
Really?
explaining why certain fonts, colors, or layouts are trending within the pet care industry.
Wow.
It's like having a design consultant and a brainstorming partner all rolled into one.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. So it's not just about replacing designers, it's about giving them, and, well, everyone, better tools to bring their visions to life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
The overview actually highlights some compelling examples.
Okay.
They talk about how marketing teams are using Ideogram to create eye-catching social media visuals in minutes.
Wow.
Educators are whipping up custom diagrams for their students on the fly.
Okay.
And even nonprofits are designing professional-looking fundraising materials without breaking the bank.
It does make you wonder how all of this is going to impact the design industry as a whole. Is everyone using this going to start looking the same?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
And honestly, it's still too early to say for sure.
Right.
But one of the key takeaways from these articles is that Ideogram is designed to be highly customizable. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right.
You have a lot of control over the final output.
So it's more like a super advanced set of tools rather than just a bunch of templates? Because honestly, I've tried those AI logo makers.
Right.
And it feels like you just end up with a bunch of generic-looking designs.
Exactly. What sets Ideogram apart is the level of detail and control it offers.
Okay.
For example, let's say you want that robot on a roller coaster
Yeah.
to be holding cotton candy in its left hand, specifically.
Okay.
You can actually specify that level of detail in your prompts,
Wow.
and the AI will adjust the image accordingly.
Okay. That is seriously impressive. But I also know that AI isn't perfect.
Right.
There have to be some limitations, right? Like, can it really handle those super specific, complex requests? Or what happens when you want something truly unique, something that's never been done before?
You're absolutely right to be thinking about that. And that's where we need to dig a little deeper into how Ideogram handles the unexpected.
All right, so we've established that Ideogram AI is doing some pretty mind-blowing stuff. But I'm also picking up on a theme here, this idea of control and customization.
Right.
It sounds like that's what really sets it apart from those other AI art generators out there.
You're catching on. And you know that focus on user experience comes through in all your sources.
Okay.
The overview actually goes into detail about how Ideogram incorporates something called a dynamic canvas.
Dynamic canvas.
Basically, it's not just about generating a static image.
Okay.
You can actually manipulate elements within the image. in real time.
Oh, wow.
Think of it like having Photoshop's editing capabilities built directly into the AI generation process.
Wow, so you could take that robot on the roller coaster.
Right.
And let's say you want to swap out the cotton candy for a churro.
Uh-huh.
You can do that after the AI has created the initial image.
Exactly.
Yep.
And it goes beyond just swapping elements.
Okay.
You can tweak the lighting, the composition, even the style of the image.
Really?
Let's say you love the overall design the AI came up with,
Right.
but you want it to have more of a vintage comic book feel.
Uh-huh.
You can actually apply different artistic filters
Yeah.
and see those changes happen live on the canvas.
Okay, that's next level stuff. It sounds incredibly powerful
It is.
and potentially a little dangerous in the wrong hands. But it also makes me wonder, all this talk about dynamic canvases and gens and whatnot, it seems pretty technical.
Yeah.
Is Ideogram only for experienced designers? Or can someone like me with, let's say, moderate tech skills wrap their head around it?
That's a question a lot of people are asking.
Yeah.
And both your sources actually emphasize Ideogram's focus on user-friendliness. They've gone to great lengths to make the interface intuitive and accessible, even for beginners.
So no coding experience required.
Not at all. The Futurepedia article even compares using Ideogram to playing a video game.
Really?
They talk about how the interface uses drag-and-drop functionality, slider controls,
Uh-huh.
and even gamified tutorials to make the learning process fun and engaging.
A video game, huh? Now you're speaking my language. But even with all that, isn't there still a learning curve when you're dealing with this level of sophisticated technology?
Of course, and that's where Ideogram's commitment to user support really shines.
Okay.
The overview highlights how they offer everything from comprehensive online documentation and video tutorials
Right.
to live chat support
Yeah.
and a dedicated community forum where users can connect with each other, share tips and tricks, and even get feedback on their designs.
That's smart, because even with the best tutorials in the world, sometimes you just need to talk to a real human,
For sure.
or at least commiserate with someone who understands the struggle.
Precisely. And it sounds like Ideogram gets that.
Yeah.
They're not just throwing this powerful technology over the wall and saying, good luck, figure it out.
Yeah.
They're building a whole ecosystem around it to support users every step of the way.
Okay, that's reassuring, especially for someone like me who might need a little extra hand-holding at first.
Uh-huh.
But let's talk practicality for a second.
Right.
We've danced around it, but how much does all of this cost?
Right.
Because, let's be real, amazing tech usually comes with a hefty price tag.
You're not wrong to be thinking about the budget. The overview does mention that Ideogram offers a free trial,
Okay.
so you can actually test drive all the features before committing to anything.
Okay, that's always a good sign. But what happens when the free trial runs out? What are we looking at then, subscription-wise?
It seems like they're following a pretty standard SaaS model,
Okay.
which stands for Software as a Service.
Right.
The overview details their different pricing tiers,
Okay.
starting with a free basic plan that gives you access to a limited set of features and a certain number of image generations per month.
Okay, so if you're just dipping your toes in, the free plan might be enough to get you started.
Right.
But I'm guessing most serious users, especially businesses, are going to want more than that.
Sure.
What about their paid plans?
That's where things get interesting. Let's delve into their pricing structure and what each tier offers.
All right, back to the show. And let's be honest, the real question on everyone's mind is always going to be, how much is this going to cost me?
You're speaking the universal language of anyone who's ever fallen in love with a new piece of tech.
Right.
But in all seriousness,
Yeah.
both the overview and Futurepedia make it clear that Ideogram is aiming for a pretty broad market with their pricing.
Okay, so walk me through it. What are we looking at here?
Well, they've got a tiered structure,
Right.
which seems to be the industry standard these days.
Yeah.
The overview lists their pro plan, which gives you a lot more flexibility.
Okay.
We're talking unlimited image generations, access to higher resolutions and advanced features, priority support, the works.
Wow. Okay.
It's designed for freelancers, agencies, small businesses, anyone who's really serious about integrating Ideogram into their workflow.
And what's the damage on that? Give me the number.
Just hold your horses.
Okay. Okay. The overview actually mentions that they're running a special introductory offer right now
Okay.
for the pro plan.
Yeah.
It's $19.99 a month.
$19.99 a month.
But they're very transparent that this price is subject to change as they roll out new features and updates. Okay, so lock it in now while you still can.
Exactly.
Smart move. But let's be real, not everyone needs pro-level features,
Yeah.
right? What about those of us who are shall we say, budget conscious?
They've got you covered.
Okay, good.
Futurepedia highlights their hobbyist plan,
Okay.
which is a sweet spot for individual creators, educators, or anyone who wants to experiment with AI image generation without breaking the bank.
Right.
It gives you a decent amount of image generations per month, access to a good chunk of their features, and it's only $9.99 a month.
Not bad at all. So it seems like they've really thought about different use cases and budgets, which is good to see. It's not just catering to the big spenders.
Exactly. And I think that speaks to their overall mission, which the overview really emphasizes to democratize visual content creation.
Yeah.
They want to make these tools accessible to everyone, not just a select few.
I can get behind that. Putting the power of creativity back into the hands of the people. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the technical nitty-gritty to the pricing plans.
We have.
As we wrap up, is there one big takeaway you want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the big takeaway here is that Ideogram AI and tools like it are pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of visual content creation.
Yeah.
But it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we choose to use it.
Right.
Are we going to let AI be a crutch, or are we going to use it as a springboard for even greater creativity? That's the question we all need to be asking ourselves.
Well said. So, to our listeners out there, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on all of this? Are you ready to jump into the world of AI-powered design, or are you taking a more cautious approach? Whatever your stance, keep exploring, keep creating, and as always, keep diving deep.